My name is Ruchi, as she said. I'm a sixth grader here. So for my project, I did a drums app, but before I get to that, I want to talk a little bit about my mentor. So my mentor's name is Neelam K. She might be coming. She's a software engineer at LinkedIn. She previously worked at Amazon Zulily, and in her free time, she likes to explore the wilderness and new cities. She really helped support me throughout the process. When I needed help, she responded as quickly as she could, and we kind of met every Sunday at Starbucks, and we really grew a bond over the course of the mentorship. So for my actual project, I created a virtual drum set, which is for young musicians like me to create beats on the go, because if you've seen a drum set, you can't really just take it around places, so if you're traveling, you can just create a beat. And I play drums myself, so I wanted to create something that incorporated Java and my personal interests. So for the project, I learned Java. I actually didn't know much coding. I knew a little bit of Python and some block coding from like computer science, but not much. So like most of the time was just used learning Java itself. So I learned all these concepts using this site called Udemy. And then I also used GitHub, which is basically where I upload my code, and the link is right there. In the future, maybe over the summer, it would be cool to add other instruments like piano or guitar, so you could actually create virtual bands with other people and like work together to create songs without actually meeting them. So for my magical experience, some highlights were learning Java for the first time. It was definitely a little bit daunting at the beginning because it's like a whole different language and there's so many concepts to it, but with the Magic program, I learned it in a good pace where I didn't feel bored or rushed, and I learned how like apps work and what happens behind the scenes. Some challenges were getting frustrated when the code wouldn't work, which happened a lot, especially with finding the layout of the app, which I'll talk more about in my demo, but yeah, and then I also learned to be independent. Like Alexa said, I had to arrange all the meetings via text, and we kind of had to work together to find times that worked for both of us. And I also learned to identify and leverage my resources. Like other than my mentor, I use like my family and like Google, because that basically has the answers for everything. I use like this site called Stack Overflow, which is basically for coders to ask questions to other people, and it definitely made me feel not as alone with my problems, and I could ask other people if I need help. So for my actual demo, I can't show you guys a live demo because it will only work on my computer, but after all this, you guys can come and I can show you it from my computer. But on the left, you can see basically what I thought I wanted the app to look like at the beginning. So it's like a sign in and sign up page, and then you have like a kind of feed where you see beats, you can comment, create your own, you have a profile, post it, and it's kind of like a social media app for musicians. So far, I've done the creating beats part, but definitely over the summer, as well as the creating like virtual bands, I'll try to get the rest of the app working. But basically, it's just how it looks like. You press a button, and it plays the sound for that drum, and then there's also a recording, which records it from the microphone of the computer, and then you can play it back. So, yeah. And then here's some snippets of my code. As I said a few slides back, I had a little bit of trouble finding the correct layout, so I used this one called null, which basically means empty, so it allowed me to create something that I want to do based on my vision and wasn't preset. And then just an overview of the buttons. I decided where it would be based on X and Y axis and how big it would be. And then on the second picture, it's just like loading all the sounds right when you start it, and then at the bottom, you guys have probably seen this before, an if statement. If you press this button, play this sound, and I did that for all of the buttons. And yeah, so I really recommend this. It's a really fun program. It doesn't even have to be coding, just like a project you're really interested in, and it really encourages you to go out of your comfort zone, and I had a really fun time with it, so thank you.